fell in love with Thunderbirds, because it's not like a Cuda, it's not like a Mustang or any of those hot cars, right? It's not one of the big popular cars. So I thought I'd just tell my story real quick. So the story goes, back in Vitus land, back in 1864 BC, we had a Thunderbird in the family. I don't remember if it was my dad's or my grandma's, but out of the two, both of them love this car. That's as clear as I can get on the story, because I know my dad's going to tell me I told you that story a million times, but that's as much as I can remember. So, there's a maroon 65 Thunderbird, a little closer to 65 than we are now, but it wasn't when they were new. And it was an immaculate car. So when I was 16 years old, I was like 14 years old, me and my dad had this idea, he was going to buy two Thunderbirds. First one was a blue one. And the second one was his, which we've affectionately teased him forever that it's pink. And he says it's not pink, it's desert rose, and that's this one. So, so we bought these two cars, and we ended up, it was great. It was great growing up. That was my first car. Had a lot of fun with it. I didn't really do much on it. I used to go to a guy named Andy DeCourt's house, and we would, he pulled the valve covers off. I think he adjusted maybe the lifters or something. To be honest, I don't really remember much. I just remember he'd always be tinkering on it until I was ready to drive it. And every time after school, I'd zip over to his house, and he'd show me whatever he was doing. I learned a lot that way, so that was pretty cool, And then I drove that car all through high school. Got a speeding ticket, and another speeding ticket, and another speeding ticket. I don't remember what kind of tickets they were. I got too many horsing around in my car tickets, so I ended up losing my license for a little bit. My dad had to actually chauffeur me to the prom in his T-Bird. But when I was 18 years old, I ended up moving out. I bought a $700 Trans Am. And it was a Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am. Yeah, if you know what it is, then points. If you don't, Google it and just get it together, bro. You should know Smokey and the Bandit. So, me and my dad didn't talk for a little bit because I moved out in the middle of the night when I was 18. So I finished high school, best grades I had that year, but some hard lessons that year for sure. And later, me and my dad got better, way better. Yeah, me and my dad are good, but at one point he came back, and that was I had to leave the T-Bird there. In fact, when I got my car the day I left, me and my dad had been fighting, and he actually came to my work. I was a produce clerk, and he came by, and I just bought this car. It's never had been to my house, and my dad didn't even know I bought it. This is the day I was going to move out in the middle of the night. He comes by, and I'm hosing the driveway off, and he looks over at the car. He goes, "Man, son, that thing's a turd, isn't it?" Or something. I don't know. We were just talking trash on it. I'm like, "Man, that's a POS, blah blah blah." Dude talk for. So later that night, that was my ride home. Show my high school intelligence. I didn't have enough gas in the car to even leave town, and there's one bridge into town and one bridge out. So at 2 a.m. I was knocking on doors asking for people's lawnmower gas, because if my dad had gone looking for me, he would have found me. But he didn't. It was a dirty, rotten thing to do. Don't do that to your parents. It was not kind at all. Anyway, so later me and my dad made up, and he gave me the car. He gave me the T-Bird later. And in the meantime, I learned a lot about the Trans Am. I'll cut to some.
Don't wanna be late again, so take me away. I don't mind. It's better promise me I'll be back in time. Gotta get back in time.
So that was when the beginning is more up towards the top. I repainted it like 3 or 4 times, and towards the bottom was when I got rid of it. It wasn't supercharged. I put the butterfly flappers on it, and I did a lot to that car. I learned a lot on that car because I wasn't afraid to jack it up. When I bought it, it was baby crap brown. I don't have a picture of the original condition, but it was pretty poor. It was a great car. It was fun. My first big project was a transmission out of that car. Took me a long time, but it's funny, I'm fast at certain things. Mechanics are one of those things I'm just not fast at. Any other kind of work I seem to be pretty quick, but mechanics, I love it, but I'm slow, and I know I'm slow. So maybe that's a skill set thing, I guess. But yeah, so later on in life, I ended up selling that car. So right before I got married, I was feeling really pressured that I couldn't keep the car in the condition I wanted, and I wanted it to have a good home, and it was really hard for me, but I decided to sell it, so I put it up for sale. And I clearly did not post it for enough because it was shortly after that I had lots of people knocking on my phone to buy the car. So I actually had 2 people call me, told both of them, hey, the first one here with cash gets the car. I'm not holding it for nobody, you know. And this nurse shows up with her husband, and they basically showed up to my doorstep, and they checked it out, so they pretty quickly decided they wanted to buy it. I think I sold it for $5,000, and you know, honestly, that's a pretty fair price. It's a low price, but someone got a good deal on that, you know. But the car had a ding in the front fender. That's why I used to sit on the front fender to hide the ding in all my wannabe cool kid poses. You know, I'll cut to those. But yeah, so you know, it was really tough. So these guys, they're getting ready to pay me, and we're about to shake hands. I kind of told them the score. First person shows up gets it, but I hadn't shaken hands. But I'm big on integrity and doing what's right and gentleman's code. So all of a sudden this guy shows up, and he's got like a colostomy bag, and he opens up his shirt, and he just goes like, oh yeah, I've got like, and he had this bag, and it was full of blood. His shirt was all bloody, and he says, I got 6 months to live. He's like, I really want this car. This is really relives my childhood. And he goes, I'll even will the car back to you. You can have the car back. When I die, I'll will it back to you. I was like, I wanted to take that deal so bad, but I knew the right thing to do was do the deal that I committed to, because I'm a gentleman and I'm a man of my word. So I told the guy, man, I love your offer, but I already promised this to these people. The people almost fell out of their chair. They couldn't believe it. But I said, you know, I already gave them my word. If they were first, I'd sell it to them, and they were. So I got to keep to it. The guy was pretty mad, and the other couple was really surprised at my response, because I think most people would call me an idiot for doing that, but I was a man of my word. So sold the car, missed it for a long time, and we were out prospecting one day, and I saw this car, which I affectionately call Ghost. It's a 64. It's 1 year earlier than the 2 other cars I've had, and it's been a lot of fun, guys. I don't know if you guys like doing this kind of stuff, but you should definitely be looking at it. It's just a labor of love. It's something to do. It's something to keep your mind occupied. But that's the story. So, you know, if my first car would have been any other car, I probably would have fell in love with that too. But I just remember when my dad first test drove that car, sitting in the back seat, and I just remember the guy that owned my first T-Bird. He was kind of a derpy. He was weird. He was a flannel guy. He was the guy I don't really relate to. And Yeah, I just remember sitting in the back seat telling my dad, I go, and he was driving. The owner was sitting in the passenger seat. He was telling us how logs had fallen on the trunk. You could just barely make out a couple dings on the trunk, and then it had the front fender on my first one was kind of dinged in one spot. I kept saying in the car in the test ride, I kept going, Dad, this is awesome, or this is awesome, or this is awesome. I just kept talking up the car, and he goes, son, shut up. It's like you don't say that kind of stuff when you're test driving a car. I mean, I was the worst kid on earth to have in that car, but I'll tell you what, I fell in love with it. Everything from the old smell to the boaty feel to the nostalgic of it. It's just something special about it. And cars aren't made this way anymore, and they never will be again. Let's face it. So, yeah, it's pretty rad. But that's the story. That's why I love these cars, and that's why I'll keep plunking away. If I come on hard times or something, I had to get rid of Ghost. That'd break me up pretty bad. But ultimately, I think the reason I love this car is just because I fond memories of the represented freedom. I used to drive a lot of country roads in my old one, and it was something cool to do with my dad too. That was always a fun piece of it. So don't ditch your parents in the middle of the night. I think that's the moral of the story there. But anyway, hey, thanks for watching again. I'm gonna keep trying to change these videos up, maybe less talking, more interesting stuff too. But I just thought this one would be a cool one to tell my story real fast, because some people have asked me, and that's kind of the gist of it. All right, guys. See you later.
I got my shades on, top back, rolling with the music jack, one on the wheel, one around you, baby. A little sun left to burn in the blue sky, shining off the cross hanging from the mirror of my ride. Breeze blowing in, your hair blowing round. You're scanning through the stations looking for that country sound. The good stuff iced up in the backseat. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be. I got my shades on, top back, rolling with the music jack, one on the wheel, one around you, baby. Sunset, I bet there's a chance we could get shore enough, tangled up, laid back and lazy. Pour it on easy now, don't spill a bit, nothing but time tonight. Let's get to